Welcome back, folks. MACTFORDEDGE here, and we are going to talk about our spare tire. I don't know if you know much about where it's at. I'll show you where it's in the back, and of course how to access it, and of course your tire changing tools. First things first, this is not a full-size spare. It is a space-saving spare, and it is made by Maxxis, and it's of course labeled spare tire. So if you have any questions of what it is, it says it right on the tire. But Maxxis is a Chinese tire, folks. Okay, let that sink in for a minute. And of course, it is for a very short time use, say 50 miles an hour for about 50 miles. And I'll bring that to a point. You have underneath here, in the center rib on the tire, right here, you have 30 seconds of tread. And then on the outer side groove, you have 30 seconds of tread. Therefore, that makes this tire a very short life. It is not a hard compound. It is made to drive a very short distance at low speeds. So if the interstate is 45 mile an hour is the slowest you can drive, you can hit 50 on this safely. It is not a balanced tire. Keep that in mind. It's not balanced, and I'm going to assume it don't have a TPMS in it. Yes, it may. I have not went that far to tear it apart to find out. Maybe I will in a later video, but let's assume it doesn't. So therefore, that makes it even more important not to drive on this for a long time at high speeds. The size of the tire is, let's see, it is a T165/80 D17. Now that comes into play also. It is a very narrow tire, as you can see, not very wide, okay? Not a lot of weight, and it can hold up to, I think it is 60 psi. 60 psi is the maximum tire pressure. I would not inflate it to 60 psi, folks. Your car gets hot. What does air do when it gets hot? Yes, it increases and expands. So keep it about 50 psi. That way you don't have a blowout in the back of your car. 45, 50 psi should be sufficient, but maximum is 60. So that doesn't mean you air it up to 60, just for the safety reason. Now, the other thing about your spare tire is that it does have a date. And I'll show you the dates here and how it's all set up. Now, of course, I did forget one very important thing about the spare tire. If you remember earlier, I had mentioned it was a 17-inch space-saving spare. Now, you have to keep that in mind. If you have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-inch tires, here's the catch. It is a smaller tire, okay? So when you put this space-saving spare on a front-wheel drive, say it's a front tire, and you have larger tires, you're going to have a different rotation. That is another key reason why you don't want to drive a long time on it, because it's going to overwork the differential. So you want to make sure that you just do it a short time. Get that. And if you got to go an extended time, then do the extra work. If it's a front-wheel drive, put the space-saving spare on the back and put the good tire on the front. That'll buy you a little more time. If you have an all-wheel drive Edge, you're out of luck. Especially if you're running 22s, folks. We're talking a 5-inch difference, and that's going to be a lot of rotational difference on the differential, even front or rear, and will cause a lot of issues. It may even activate your traction control system, all-wheel drive light up. All this other stuff could happen if you try to drive it on an extended time. So all the more reason to put it on and drive directly to a place where you can actually buy or repair the tire, a new tire. Okay, so if it's damaged to the point where you have to take and replace it, then buy the same size tire to replace it. Otherwise, don't drive it for a long time, because it will cause damage as per even the Ford manual. You don't want to drive it very far on that 17-inch spare tire that is in the back of your Edge. So keep that in mind. This is a very, very important key point on that space-saving spare, as the tires, they don't match. They don't make a 22-inch spare tire to match your wheels, folks. It is a spare and is meant to be temporary. So just wanted to cover that real quick because I had not done it. So onward. Now the DOT says that they must have the date of manufacture on the tire. It does not say what side of the tire. It only has to be on one. So what they do is they put the DOT and then the first letters of the date group of the tire on one side, just to note that it does have a DOT date. And if you want to see the date, if you can't see it on the side of the tire here, all you have to do is turn the tire around, and lo and behold, you will see the same DOT, ABC, and then you will see the numbers here that are, of course, embossed into the tire. Now what the 45 means is that it was made on the 45th week of 2010. Yes, 4510. All tires will have this marking. It may be on the side that you can see on the street, or you may have to look on the inside of the tire, but that is the date of your tire. So that means that this tire was made in the 45th week. That means it was about what, folks? 52 weeks in a year, late October, roughly. I would say is late October, okay, of 2010. And this Ford Edge was manufactured in January of 2011. So not much of an age difference on that. But that is how you can tell the age of your spare. Now keep in mind, spare tires only last 10 years. That's when the manufacturer says you have to replace it. Just so we get a good view, this is my Michelin's, and as you can see, they have the lettering and they also have the 2516 that is, of course, on the sidewall. And if we look at the other tire, and if we look at the front tire, it is also a 2516. So the tires all were made on the same date, but that doesn't mean all four tires were made on the same date. Case in point, this tire, same tire, was made on 4515. So that ought to tell you that you just can't say, hey, tire guy, are they all the same? And the answer is no. Well, as you can see, you look at the sidewalls and look for that DOT date. That doesn't guarantee all tires are going to be the same date. So when you buy them, ask them for the date. Make sure they match, or worse yet, don't buy a tire that's been on the shelf for 2 years. Okay? Buy the freshest tire you can find, see what they can provide. If it's within 6 months to a year, pretty good. If it's like 2 or 3 years old, I think I'd look for a better deal. But again, this spare tire is only good for 10 years. So if you have a 2007 or 8 Ford Edge, check your spare. See how old it is. Will it be in good enough shape to use when you go to use it, is the question. Okay? So make sure it's aired up, and let's go ahead and look where the spare tire fits. Now, of course, this spare tire will fit right up under here. And underneath the spare tire, you'll find this rod and a little cushioning, and then your jack and tool set. In my case, I got a cargo net here, and then my funnel is right there. That's pretty much all you're going to find in the back. And this, of course, is the spacer and the nut that will tighten the tire down and keep it from jiggling and making lots of noise. But what do we have in here for a toolkit and jack? Nobody's really shown them. They have a Velcro closure, and we have the jack right here. And of course, all you have to do then is use the wrench to actually run the jack up with the handle that has the lug on it. That is, of course, right here in this Velcro. Right there it is. You can use that. So it's all self-contained, pretty neat little package. And then of course you can put your tire back in. You know, it won't fit in the back, folks, guarantee it. But this is where it all fits right in here. So this is where the tire goes. You just take this out. The big wide end, of course, goes either way. It fits universally, no real size difference there. And then of course when you get done with your tire, you go to put it back in. Be careful of your fingers. Get it centered in there. And then of course you put that rubber, it's a rubberized spacer, keeps everything quiet. And then of course you take this right here, and you just tighten it down by hand. That's all you gotta do. Just make sure it gets started good. And then you just tighten it as tight as you can get by hand. The rubber will keep it quiet. There you go. Nice and tight. Then you put the cover back on it. Just slide it right in here. Get it all to fit. There we go. Got her in. All set. So all we got to do then, of course, is pull this back down. And you want to make sure these ties are up. Right here. Keep them out of the way. And then of course, all you have to do is reload. In this case, I got all this stuff right here I got to put back in. So changing the tire for me is a little bit of a pain. I got to load everything back up. Get it all to fit properly. And then I can shut her up like so. Really simple. And that's it. Well, this is MACTFORDEDGE, and of course join up on Facebook, and of course get questions answered and learn things. And by all means join the YouTube channel. Yes, like and subscribe, and then of course hit that donate button if you feel like it and help me out on that. And my feet hit the floor today and I'm having a great day. And I want you to have a great day too. With that being said, Mercy Girl's got a couple one-liners, and the Band of One is going to play some great music while watching some additional footage.
Thank you for watching MacT's videos, and remember to like and subscribe. This is a Mercy Girl production.